Hey guys, welcome back to the Skyward Sword walkthrough. In this video, we are going to do just what Bucha, the Kikwi, just said. We are going to be exploring new areas of the Faron region that we previously could not access. And this is basically a trend throughout all of Skyward Sword. We've more or less visited through the bulk of the land areas of Skyward Sword. I mean, we've been to the Faron region, the Elden region, and the Lanayru region. And we're going to be traveling to each of these regions on 3 different occasions for like big events and such. And this is our second tour basically through the Faron region. And while initially we went through the Silent Realm, which was a little different, we're still in the Faron Woods region, but we're in a new location overall. In particular here, we find ourselves inside of the Great Tree. And the Great Tree is obviously the large tree in the center of the Faron Woods. So this idea that we are going to continuously return to areas that we're somewhat familiar with, except we do one additional thing or one new thing. Anyway, in this area you could, there's actually a blue bokoblin over on the ledge to the right, and you could like use your slingshot to like dizzy him up and then jump on over to that gate or to that like moving platform and then over to the exit on the other side of the Great Tree. However, I took a little bit of a detour just because there is a goodie for us to collect at the top of the inside of the Great Tree area. Not quite all the way at the top, but as you scale on upwards. So just continue along this pathway here, and then there's a couple narrow corridors here, and it's sort of an enclosed area a little bit, but it will eventually lead to a treasure chest. And this particular treasure chest contains a gold rupee. So these gold rupees are obviously quite valuable. They're worth 300 rupees a piece. So this is one of the treasures you just don't want to miss. After collecting the gold rupee, we just want to jump on down and exit the Great Tree across by where those moving platforms were. You could just fall down from this higher ledge, just jumping off to the side, and then heading on outside to get back into the Faron Woods region, but now we are on the higher ledge. There's a few things we can do from here. In particular, there was a couple goddess cubes that you probably saw throughout, just navigating through the Faron Woods, that we just quite frankly were never able to reach. In particular, there's one just right here, and as soon as you come out of the Great Tree, you can just jump down, make a precision jump, and use your goddess sword and deliver a Skyward Strike to activate it. The only problem with getting this particular goddess cube right now is you'll have to retrack your way through the Great Tree, and I'm sort of just quickly doing that. I just fast forward without showing you basically the exact same thing again. And we'll be getting the goddess treasure in just a bit. In this area there is some vines for us to make our way across, but there are also some Waltulas that sort of get in the way. So whenever possible, you can use the slingshot or even the beetle just to knock these Waltulas off the vines. It makes for easier navigation. In this second area especially, there's a number of these Waltulas, so be sure to knock them down. Just clear the vines, make it easier for you to navigate. This next area too, it's a little bit of a more lengthier area where you have to climb with the vines, so be sure to get rid of them, and then you can also pick up the stamina fruit along the way so that you don't really run out of energy as you are climbing. Be careful, as there is a beehive or a hornet's nest in this area. Your best bet is to, well, pretty much just avoid it. It's sort of out of the way where it doesn't really get in your way, but so just climb on over and then head back inside to get, well, back inside of the great tree. This portion is fairly straightforward. There is a wooden shield moblin over here, so you could try fighting him, but it's really not worth it because it's such a narrow passageway. Your best bet is just to jump over the moblin and head on through to get back outside, but on another portion of the great tree. Once you are back outside, you want to save at the great tree bird statue here. In particular, this is a very valuable statue just in case you fall down, or if you want to get back up to the top portion of the great tree. This actually becomes very valuable. Run ahead, and there's a couple Bokoblin, including a blue Bokoblin leader who calls on over his. He'll call on over the other Bokoblins. Just defeat him, and you can collect any treasures that they leave behind, and just continue scaling up the tree. Since we have the treasure medal equipped, you have a good chance of getting these ornamental skulls, or regular, or even the gold ornamental skulls. There's a couple keys further along the pathway here, so you want to get rid of them, just to get rid of all the enemies. And there are 2 more goddess cubes that we can actually jump down to, like, the land below, just sort of like we did just a moment ago. They're near the surface of the Faron region, and well, there's 2 of them. We are going to, you could get one of them later on using an item that we don't have yet, and that's probably a significantly easier way of getting this particular goddess cube, or at least getting to the platform where it's located. However, you could get it now. It's really up to you. This one, since you're a lot higher up, it might take some practice in order to accurately jump down to that particular ledge, and you want to be sure to line up your jump before you actually make your fall. And I barely made it. If I was just a couple inches off to the right, I would have fallen down and have to retrace my steps. Once I'm here, I want to use a Skyward Strike to activate it, and we will be getting that goddess treasure chest at a later point of this chapter. At this point, you could navigate all the way through the great tree. However, I think the faster way at this point is to just use one of the bird statues nearby, maybe at the viewing platform, and then just return to the sky, and then back to the great tree bird statue location. I think that's a more efficient manner of getting up to the top of the tree. Anyway, continue scaling the great tree, and Fi eventually will call you over and mentions that there's a noise up in the distance. Just go ahead and climb the vines here, and you will. Well, there are some woodland rhinobeetles like on the vines here, so you can roll into the wall to knock them down. But afterwards, just go ahead and climb the vines, and we will meet up with another member of the Kikwi tribe. After the lengthy discussion with the Kikwi here, you could actually just drop down and run on over to the X left on your map. However, you want to get the remaining Goddess Cube that is at the area below. And much like the previous two that I already got in this video, this one requires you to make a precision jump from the higher area. In particular, this one is near the viewing platform. You want to just grab onto the ledge and like sort of fall over so that you're hanging onto it, and you'll be able to see just below you. This particular Goddess Cube is found right across here. You'll have to walk across the tightrope, but do just that, and then once again use to deliver a Skyward Strike on the Goddess Cube to activate the Goddess Cube. So that's 3 of them that are now accessible simply because we now have access to the inside of the Great Tree. So you could pick them up now. Like I mentioned, one of them you can get a lot easier later on in the quest, but it's a good idea to pick these up now. And we'll be collecting them later on in this chapter, not quite yet, as there's a few other Goddess Cubes in the Faron region that we are going to get. So if you run on over to the symbol, or the X, I should say, on the map, you will find a symbol on the ground. And Fi sort of mentions to you, you should make note of what this symbol looks like. It sort of looks like there's a couple crescents, and then there's like a big circle. So our next destination is all the way at the south end of the Faron Woods, and the Kikwi that we bumped into at the top of the Great Tree sort of made reference to this door that led to the next region. And now that we know what that particular symbol looks like, we can just run on over, and this will eventually lead to the next area within the Faron region. So just run on over, and there's just the regular enemies we've battled before. There's some Choo-Choos, there's some Keese, there's some Octoroks, there's some Bokoblin. You can fight them off if you'd like. As I've said a number of times, you can grind away just to defeat them, just to collect some treasure if you really like to. But otherwise, just make your way on over to this this door at the edge of the woods. You want to get rid of the Octorok in front of the door, because it will wreak havoc on you if you just avoid it. And then charge up a Skyward Strike while you're next to the door, and you'll be able to use your Goddess Sword, and you use the Nintendo Wiimote to sort of draw on a symbol. So just draw somewhat of a circle, and you can start filling it in. And after just a moment, it will like light up, and the door will unlock, allowing you to pass through. So do just that, and I love this sort of like corridor that leads here. But just run straight ahead, and you can just jump off the ledge at the end and dive down to the lake below. So join me for the next video, and we will dive into literally Lake Floria. So I'll see you guys then.